What up? Welcome back. I'm B. Ryder. It's my co-host,
J. Bell.
and this is
Final Thoughts.
Today's topic: do women have unreasonable expectations? Let's check it out.
The book is based on a survey where men and women were asked if they got 80% of everything they want in their ideal mate, would they be happy with that? And women said, no, that's settling. And men said, 80%, I'd be thrilled, that's a catch. And so
80% to the women you surveyed is settling?
That's settling because, the question is, what actually makes us happy in long-term romantic love? And, that's the question that I explore in the book. And I'm a journalist, so I went out and I asked neurobiologists about chemistry, and I asked behavioral economists about demographics, and I asked marital researchers and divorce lawyers.
What do they say?
And, the thing is, we're too picky about the things that don't matter at all for long-term romantic happiness, but we're not picky enough about the things that actually do matter. Men and women were asked what would be a deal breaker for going on a second date, and men named 3 things. They said she has to be cute enough. She doesn't have to look like Angelina Jolie. She just has to be cute enough. She has to be warm and kind, and she has to be interesting to talk to. Those seem like really valid criteria.
Ding, 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 ding. Pretty simple.
Right. Okay, reasonable, right? The women came back with 300 things that would rule out a guy for a second date. And we're talking about like another 2 hours and maybe a free dinner. And they wouldn't do it. And there were things like he wore a brown belt with black shoes. Or we were having a really good time and I thought he was cute and he was interesting, but then he did this Austin Powers impression and I just can't get that out of my mind and I can't go out with him again.
All right.
Here we go again.
This is good. So why do you think women engage in that kind of behavior? As far as like the list and stuff like that. On to the next one.
I think women engage in this behavior because they can afford to. They have options, and they have men approaching them almost constantly, or at least a lot of women do.
Yeah.
So
the gas station,
right? Like, come on, like
Walmart.
They know that guys are pretty, easy to get, right? Or at least attention from guys is easy to get.
Yeah.
So they can afford to be super picky. So that's, I think, why they do it, because they can narrow down something absolutely ridiculous. Oh, he had on a wrong color tie. His tie came down all the way down to his belt, and it should stop at his belt. So obviously he doesn't know what he's doing, or just absolutely ridiculous stuff that really doesn't matter in the scope of a relationship. Like, how many times have you heard a woman say, like, if he texts me, what you doing?
Oh my God.
WYD.
Or asking for a picture.
Yeah. Where you at?
Anything like that.
Knock what you doing me to death. How many times you heard that?
A lot. You see it all the time on like social media.
Yeah.
It's a meme now. I guess that men are known for sending a what you doing text. Right. And I'm just like, okay, dude, it's a form of communication. We're texting. We're in that age now.
Yes.
And I think it should be discussed up front. What's your preferred method of communication? If you never divulge that information to him, maybe you should.
Yeah.
And then you have that special one that's just like, I shouldn't have to tell him that. Why are we making this so hard? Why do women make this so hard? And before you all said it's not all women, and yes, we know men do it too. Okay, so let's just get that out the gate. We're not speaking in absolutes.
We know that.
But for the sake of conversation, I'm going to say men or women. It's just easier that way.
Yeah. Imagine the asterisk there.
Yeah.
It makes you feel better. But it is, yeah. And to me, it's always like the weirdest thing, because I'm like, you see women saying, "Oh, he just asked me what I was doing or whatnot. Why he didn't just make a plan or make a date or whatnot?" That type of thing. And I get you wanting, everybody everybody should have a preference, right? And it's okay to have a preference.
Yeah, of course.
But
I agree with that.
At some point in time, you need to be realistic and understand if your preferences are reasonable or not. Like, honestly, in a 15-year marriage, do you think that him texting her what you doing is gonna be the barometer for how your marriage goes?
Nah.
Do you really think that? Like honestly, like he texted me what you doing, and that ended the entire conversation, right?
Yeah.
And you don't know anything about this person, this man, beyond that. To me, that is such a trite thing to end a potential mate or conversation with one over. It's so small that it's nothing.
Yeah, they have that whole thing with the texting, and I think they're the pioneers of leaving people on read.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Or purposely spending a couple hours not texting back just because.
Yeah.
Like, you got the message. Why not just text back when you got the message? Yeah. Like, it's not thirsty. It's called communication. Like, it's crazy. It is crazy.
They're all really flaky though sometimes. But whatever. That's just...
So, like, what are some of from your experiences? What's some of the things you heard on a list? One list that you could think of that you've heard is just outrageous. Go on, list.
I don't.
We'll be here till tomorrow, but
it's like it's endless. It's egregious.
He gotta be.
Yeah, he gotta be 6 foot tall. He gotta be dark skinned. He gotta have a pretty smile. He gotta have a beard that he takes care of. He's gotta have soft, kind eyes. He's got to be making 6 figures. He's got to have a nice car. He's got to have a decent job. He's got to be caring, generous, kind. He's got to be giving. He's got to be a protector. He's got to be a provider. He's got to be a good father. He's got to be a good boyfriend and husband. Like all of this, And
then you go into like he got to be a great communicator. He needs to be intelligent and outgoing.
He's got to be forgiving. He has to communicate well. He can't
negotiator.
He can't get easily angered unless it's a situation where he should get easily angered.
Right.
It's just a lot, right? And like I said, you're free to have your own preference for whatever, but if you get to the point where that preference is holding you back and actively keeping you from meeting someone, then it's a problem. I encourage everybody, really. Excuse me, not just women, but to ask the people around you, ask your friends about your standards. If they feel like your standards are too high or unrealistic, or if
unrealistic,
or if
one person having all of these things is unlikely.
Chances are you have not met a single man in your life that has had all of the things that you want. You've never dated that man.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that, let's say you do find that guy. What if you're not the things that he wants, and you still not getting that guy? You know what I'm saying? So, it's like we take the video. The lady said that men wanted about like 3 things. It'd be like fun, look good and stuff, like easy to talk to.
Yeah,
boom,
right.
And she was like, women came with a list of like 300 things, and this is all before the second date.
Crazy, right?
I was just like,
crazy.
What? This is,
and some of the things that
unrealistic.
Disqualified potential partners, like his shoes didn't match his belt.
Yeah, that's
right?
foolish.
Like, do you see how small that is? You have to be able to see how small. If you don't see how small that is, ask one of your friends. Ask your best friend if they think that is a small, trite thing to dismiss somebody over. Hopefully you have an honest friend, right? Because that is a nothing. Boy, especially if you're looking for like marriage and long-term relationship. The color of their shoes and belt, whether they texted you "Good morning, Queen," or said "What you doing." These things in the length of a relationship really don't matter. You will forget about all of these things so quick, and I think that's something that a lot of women don't even realize, is that when they really like somebody, none of that matters.
Oh, they throw so many things.
Yeah, everything goes out of the
list,
window.
boy.
You don't even realize, but a lot of that stuff you don't even require from the man that you really want. When you really like somebody, that dude can text you WYD every day, and you're not gonna have a single problem with it,
right?
Because you really like them.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just like, oh, girl, he said, "What you doing?" and didn't even offer to take me out.
Oh, like, my goodness!
Come on, this is so small, so small.
Man, you saw that chart, that not chart, but the statistics. 80% enough? Men said yes. Guess what women said? I give you one guess. Just no. That is no.
That is absolutely crazy to me.
Why? There's no such thing as compromise. Like, I thought that was the other 20%. Like, you compromising on things that you won't always. You're not gonna get everything, right? So you take the best of what you can,
right?
And 80% is not bad.
80% is really, really good, actually.
If somebody had $1,000 and it was like, I'm gonna give you 80%, you walking away with $800.
Yes, more than half of that. A lot more than half.
Yes,
actually.
Yes,
it's just unrealistic, and the fact that guys, are a dime a dozen approaching, I think, is what drives this whole, I think I can do better mentality. It's the fact that you could turn around and meet a new guy, and he might potentially be better than the guy that you're with. Who knows? And I think it's that idea, that factor, that keeps women from fully investing in the 80%. Because they could turn around and meet a guy tomorrow. A guy could come up to the grocery store and talk to them tomorrow, and they feel like they might be able to do better.
I think there's a lot of truth in that, and it goes to what I had sent you the other day, whereas men are judged by the women that they attract, and the women are judged by the men that they can keep.
Yeah.
So the man that they're keeping I guess they feel is a reflection of them. So they want this unicorn because they're so great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's not really. I mean, you could be a sparkly little unicorn, all of that, but just like your life partner is probably not going to have 100% of what you have on this list that that you have, if you have a list. Just for the people who do have a list.
True that.
And it's a very long one. It's the longer that list goes, the less likely it is for you to get everything all in one man. Like, come on.
True that.
So that's why the 80% thing is just like kind of wild. That men are just like, all right, yeah, that's.
Yeah. And it kind of, like I told you before, it kind of makes sense of why divorce is so prominent and why women are usually the ones who initiate divorce.
Yeah.
Because if 80% isn't enough for you, then is 90% going to be enough for you?
Yeah.
Is 100% really going to be enough? Are you even going to recognize when you have it? Is the thing, so it makes me understand why, a woman could possibly get what she wants, but not even recognize it. And then, she's not happy. But then maybe she was never going to be happy, maybe at 85% she wasn't going to be happy. At 90 and 100% she was not going to be happy. You know? So,
yeah,
it just, makes me think, like, what's really the issue here? Is this something that, like, women as a collective have to deal with, or is it just like a personal thing, like an individual?
I think it's a woman's culture type of thing, because it's not just black women, it's like just women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think it's much of what you said, that they have so many options that they can just do that.
Yeah.
But like the lady in the video said, it's not about the fact that you have a list. It's about having the right things on the list.
Right.
So if you're looking for longevity, like disqualifying a man because his tie wasn't straightened completely is kind of stupid.
It kind of is.
It's kind of stupid in the long run.
Kind of is. I remember. I think one of our good friends actually posed a question. And asked a bunch of ladies what it is that they not what they want in a man, what they need to have in a man.
Yeah.
What do they require? What?
Okay.
What's the deal breaker? What do you need? And some of the answers in that were just like, wow, like you. It was just a lot, And some people, I questioned whether or not they understood what word
he was
need
asking.
meant.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it was just like, no, you don't really need that. You might really, really want that. Like, I really, really would like an attractive woman as as my companion, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I recognize that that's a want. That's a significant want. But it's a want. I don't require it though. It's not a need. But you had like some women answering saying like, "Oh, I need somebody who's tall. I need a tall guy." And it's like, "Wait, what? You need? You need that?"
Yeah, the waterworks don't run unless he's 6'1", like bars.
All day. He got to be playing for the Denver Nuggets. Got to. That's the only way, is anything.
The Los Angeles Falcons.
Yeah. He got to be playing for the Fire Island Penguins. And it's just like, man, like the disconnect in that. It's just like what I noticed anyway, and just from the outside looking in, observing women's culture, is that there's just like this disconnect from, reality almost, but, and it's harsh, harsh to say, and I don't really like saying it, but it's like, it's kind of what I see, and unfortunately, I haven't seen much yet to kind of push me the other direction, to make me feel differently about it, But it's just, it's just being honest is what I see, Yeah. Everybody wants this, as Kevin Samuels said, this high value man, a super high value guy.
The devil.
He can show up. Speaking of Kevin Samuels, we got him right. No, but it's like yeah, and he kind of had a point in that everybody wants the high value man, and it's like, okay, like what are you doing to get this man? Are you in a position to meet him? Are you anywhere around these type of men? Have you ever met anyone close to this? Like, what makes you feel like this is in your future? But you got any final thoughts on it?
My final thoughts would be, ladies, lighten up. You know, if he doesn't ask you what your preferred method of communication is, just offer it. It's really not going to hurt you. It's not going to kill you. If texting is one of your things, then there's really no issue with a WYD, you know, what you're doing, text or stuff like that. I figured that would be way better than a nothing text, or a very like off and on kind of guy, like hours later and stuff like that, as opposed to somebody who's actually trying to get to know you. As far as like a list, like I said before, lighten up a little bit. And most of this was geared towards just like the first couple of dates. And you hear a woman talking about this, how extreme women are being. So listen to her. I think she has some.
She's on something.
Yeah, she had points and she had data.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. My final thoughts. Well, ladies, I need y'all to just back it up a little bit. You know, just kind of be honest with yourself. I always ask for self-awareness and introspection.
Yeah.
That's always something that I require or that I desire, right? Not just for me, but for everybody. And since we're speaking about relationships and men and women, you know,
yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Be introspective about what you really want and what you can acquire, what you can achieve. Be realistic about it. Talk to your friends and ask them, am I being realistic? Is this something that you feel like is in my future that I can potentially get? It's okay to shoot for the stars in some cases, but don't let that hinder you from meeting a potential mate, someone who could actually, be perfect for you. But you are so busy looking for the next, LeBron James or so, that you just pass it up.
Right.
But just, be honest with yourself. That's all.
Ooh.
Yeah. The comment section will be on fire.
Oh man, we gonna see.
Answer some phone calls, some text messages.
So what was that episode about? You was talking about me, was it? No. Yeah, I mean,
no. This wasn't about you. No, it kind of was, but not.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, comment. I'm B. Writer.
J. Bell.
And this is
Final Thoughts.